Welcome to DOREEN'S African Experiences, and today we're still doing vegetables. I think this is our last video on vegetables. The next video I'll do will be strictly harvesting vegetables. But before I get into the video, remember we have a campaign. The campaign is about feeding 30 families 1 meal each. So I've been getting a lot of messages, most of them in question. So I'm going to answer maybe 4 or 5 of these questions today. Number one, I got about 4 people asking me the same thing. Why is it old people and young mothers? Apparently, don't these old people have a retirement plan? Some people crack me up a lot, and maybe it's a question of innocence because not everyone really knows. But let me take this opportunity to enlighten a lot of you. In Africa, old people don't even have retirement homes. You understand? The few people who can even afford to retire, let me speak for my country. The few people who can even afford to retire, right, are still working even in retirement. In Africa, you work until you drop. There is no offs. There is no such thing as retirement in Africa. There isn't. Do you want to know why? Most of these organizations, now let me start from the people that actually have jobs or have been able to get jobs. These organizations, most of them in Africa that people actually work for, don't give them no retirement package, nothing like that. Now, as you work in Africa, we have something called NSSF, where they deduct monthly, they deduct your money until it adds up to a certain point of what you would call retirement, which you're only allowed to get when you're 50 years of age. That's supposed to be the retirement age in my country. And last I checked, for the past 4 to 5 years, there are people who have never even gotten their retirement money. Why? Because the organization claims they don't have the money. Imagine, you work your entire life saving for your old age, and then a company or an organization, a government organization that's been taking your money tells you your money is not there. Do you understand what I mean? And those are the lucky few who even have the chance to retirement packages. The other percentages are half of the people in Africa, the biggest percentage of old people are not educated. Well, and because of that, they can't even get jobs. They create their own jobs, right? Others are going to say, that's the best. Yes, it's the best. But creating a job, your own job in Africa, you need to have steady income. I don't know how to put this. Imagine someone starting a business. This business takes care of them, educates their children, feeds them, medicates them, and everything. At what point is this person going to get money out of this business for retirement? You get that? Now, another scenario. And these are not even scenarios, this is real life. Other people are deep in villages now, like these people we're trying to give back to. These people have nothing. Most of them don't have anything. All they have is the food they grow. That's all. First of all, you have to understand that Uganda is a cash economy. I don't know if this makes any sense. Cash economies are where everything you have to pay for. Cash at hand. If you don't have money and you're sick, you are going to die. I'm serious. People here will die from things that's highly preventable, highly treatable. Why? Because they don't have the money. Because you're going to go to a hospital. These days, hospitals are even more tough. And someone is going to say, don't they have government hospitals? Oh my goodness, where am I? Uganda. We have government hospitals, but they don't even belong to the governments anymore. I'm not getting into that. I don't want to discuss politics. My point right now is, most in Africa, you work till you die, And even then, you can't have a peaceful death half the time. It's not even a joke. So, there is people, someone is going to say, there are people who are doing well in Africa. Yes, they are there. But what's the percentage? Do you understand? This is a country we're talking about where who sent you is more important than what you qualify for. You understand? You could have a master's degree in something, and because someone has a connection deep rooted in the organization, they'll get the job. And these are people half the time who are not even qualified. And you come and tell me why the young mothers. Now, I'm not even going to start on the mothers. You know how in most of these Western countries, the USA, you have the government actually gives you a certain percentage. It's not much, but they give you something for having a child, to take care of your child. Your education, half the time is free. It's not here. Here you pay for the education. Actually, Africans are very rich in the sense that we spend too much. You understand? The cost of living in Africa is not as low as people make it seem. It's not. Why do you think most Africans who even fly back home can't even stay for so long unless they stay on survival mode? Everything is paid for. You have to pay for everything here. As soon as you give birth to that child, by the way, here, a lot of people are taking advantage of people here. Mostly a few men, I won't say all men. You know, they fly to Africa and then they discover that a lot of single mothers, we have so many single mothers, and half of these are young. Do you know that some people in villages are still living like it's the 90s? I'm serious. Girls are being married off at 15, and it's not even by force. They go happily because they've seen everyone do it where they are. They've not been able to move out of their villages to see other places, to get exposure, to see that a person actually doesn't have to give birth that young or get married that young. So you find someone who is 17, 18 with 3 kids, and this person was not even raped. Now, because their life has been, you stay home, you go to a little bit, a local school for maybe pre-education, and then you come out and do a little bit of farming and then find a suitable mate. So that's all they're offering, even to the young ones. So we come, try to sensitize them, we try to do the best we can for them. We try to see how can the children they've given birth to have better chances at life. Just because we're not coming out here every day narrating what we do, explaining to you what we do, it doesn't mean we are not doing much. We're not staying around these villages just for the fun of it. We come down here because we see the need for us to be down here. We see what we can offer. You know, half the time maybe it's not financial, but even knowledge-wise, and it makes a difference. So just a simple meal to someone old, you know, there is an old lady right there, right across there, you know, she's blind, she has 3 grandkids and 2 babies from these grandkids, and she's taking care of these people. You see her in her little mud house, wake up literally to cook, and I'm like, what is going on? And it's okay. There is nothing wrong with being blind. My explanation right here is, how can you tell someone like that, don't you have a retirement plan? You people. The way we are so insensitive in this generation is why so many people are killing themselves, you know. So many people are taking their lives because we are so insensitive. Imagine, a lot of people down here, even some people that's watching me, someone will come and tell you something private and you make fun of it elsewhere. People thrive on people being less than them. In fact, they live off that. It gets them off. When they're better than someone, silently in there, they're so happy about it. Oh, I'm better than this one. They won't say it, but their actions will just show. And you wonder what kind of world we're living in. You know, those are just a few points. And then someone says, Are you related to any of these people? Let me tell you this, I'm not bragging, but my family is doing very well. No offense, you know, they do very well. And half of my family don't even know where I am. They know I'm in the country, but they can't even point where I am. I came to this area, I didn't know anybody, but I'll be damned. These are some of the nicest people I've ever met. And I've been to places where I've done way more than I've done for these people. And most of those people didn't even give a rat's ass about me. But when I came to this area, I was welcomed. For starters, this is a Muslim community. I'm not Muslim. I didn't know if I was gonna fit in, you know, but every single turn I received so much positive energy. I was surprised, you know. I've never been next to a person in this area. I don't think they're pretending. They all can't be pretending. You can't pretend with someone for over 5 months. That's crazy, you know. Half the time the shell falls off. People just show who they are, you know. We've been there. Me, I know. I've been there. I've been with people who are so unworthy. You know, I've been there with people who are so bad to the core, but they pretend, and eventually they show themselves. It takes time, but they do. And this is a long time. So no, to answer your questions, I'm not related to any of these people. Literally, I'm not. I don't even know most of their last names. But I know them by face, by where they stay, by what they do. How sure are we they'll get the money? How sure are we? If you're asking this question, and I've already told you I'm going to read your name out on YouTube, you know, for what you contributed, how much you contributed, where it went to, show you who took your money, and you're still not convinced, please don't donate. Please. Please. It's one meal. One meal. Look, this is not by force. Personally, I've been doing charity way too long. And even that, I've never documented none of that. But the reason why most people are always so happy to see me is because maybe I've been there for them one way or another. And for me, I get off of people being happy. So when someone is happy and they get what they want, it makes me happy, you know? So that question is answered. Someone says, I thought Africa was rich. Africa is rich in resources, but who is taking Africa resources? You need to ask the right questions. You know, where are African resources going? Who is growing food on African land and exporting it to benefit themselves? Who is excavating Africa's minerals? You know, we have, for Uganda, we have gold, we have oil, but the population has never benefited from any of these things. So Africa is rich in words, you know, but Africans are not benefiting from any of these. So many reasons: bad leadership, the Western world, infiltration, and stuff like that, you know. I don't know, maybe I'm seeing a different Africa than most people are seeing, but dear, Africans are not rich. We are rich because we are healthy, we have very nice air, we have the best weather, that kind of rich. But what does the best weather benefit you when you're starving to death? Huh? I'm just curious, you know? When you're sick and you don't even have the right medication to treat you of a disease that's so simple, I don't understand what kind of rich we're talking about. You know, we're rich nature-wise, you know. But how many Africans do you know that are going around Africa looking at nature? They don't even take it seriously, most of them, because they see it every day. It's part of them. It's just a meal, my people. One meal per one family, 30 of them. The goal is $600. That's it. That's it. And then someone came and asked me, how come you have lost weight? This has been like 7 people, and someone even went ahead to say that my butt has shrunk a bit. You people, you are the same people telling me you fat, you're very fat. I remember someone left me because I was fat. Imagine. And now that I'm in the best shape of my life, again it's a problem. What I'm not doing anything to please anyone. I'm not doing anything to please anyone, people. I'm doing what makes me happy. I can eat my weight back. It's very simple. Actually, it is simpler for my body to gain than to lose. So you should all be happy for me. For weighing a little, actually a lot less than I did weigh 4 months ago. Don't you have a GoFundMe or PayPal? No, in Africa we don't have those. In fact, we don't. So in Africa, you're either giving someone cash, sending it on their mobile account, or sending it in their bank account. That's it. We don't have GoFundMe in Africa. We don't have PayPal. What was that? PayPal. We don't have none of that. We don't have Instacash, or whatever you call it. We don't have those things. Anyway, let's get into the video. It was a pleasure answering your questions. Enjoy the video. Alright guys, so welcome back to DOREEN'S African Experiences. I know I'm dedicating this week to teaching you how to grow different vegetables. Sukuma Wiki. I wonder if it has a more formal famous name out there, because locally here we call it Sukuma Wiki. Now Sukuma Wiki is not so different from spinach. The difference between them is that these ones can grow for way longer. Literally. Sukuma Wiki. But this is very common in East Africa actually. I believe it's way more common in East Africa. I don't know if other countries are growing it as much as East Africans. Anyway. The name we know it for, or as, is Sukuma Wiki. That's a Swahili, it's a Swahili term. But it's one of those foods that's closely related to kale. So most of you have kale. They are very related, but here we call it Sukuma Wiki. I don't even know if I have another. Anyway, we'll go with the Swahili name because I cannot fish for something I don't know. So all you have to know, for those that's not in East Africa, the relationship between Sukuma Wiki and kale is very uncanny. They're very, very similar, if not the same. All right, so for growth of these, it's the same procedure as spinach, but what's the difference between them? With these, they grow way taller. Literally, they can be as tall as 1 foot. If you take care of them right, you can harvest throughout the year from the same stick. Look at this. They've been harvesting from here. Where am I? There. They've been harvesting from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way up, and they're still harvesting. What does that tell you? It tells you that with these vegetables, it's leaves. They sell leaves. It's what they sell for money. Now, gestation period is also 2 months. The nursery bed lasts a month. Yes, it lasts a month, just like the other one. But these, I won't be able to show you a nursery bed because since they take way longer in the garden, you know, while harvestation is taking place, there is not a lot of nursery beds going around. I can only give you different tours of them. And by the way, they reach a point and stop putting on. When they become really old, they flower. Once it flowers, you can't harvest from it anymore. Then you can get rid of it. Now with these, you can put the grass seed. Now this one has flowered. It means it's It's done. Its lifetime is done now. So basically, for Sukuma Wiki or Wiki, you put the bed for 1 month. You go through the same procedure as planting spinach. You put the leaves, the grass, the dry grass between. You spray for fertilizers, for pests, and then you put natural fertilizers in there. And then after that, you proceed to wait at least a month, but the first month is when the nursery bed is happening, and then you transplant, right? But then after transplantation, then you can go ahead to start harvesting. Now, Sukuma, which is actually a little bit more expensive, I think because their bundles are big, depending on the season. By the way, depending on the season, if it's a dry season and you're harvesting these things, they are very expensive. A bundle can go for at least 15,000 minimum, and maximum 30,000. Yeah, same size actually. So guys, there is nothing else to tell you about this particular plant except maybe give you a tour. But these things can grow tall, or maybe I'm the one that's short, but you can harvest for a very long time. If you look at this place, they've been harvesting for a while. Look how tall this thing is. Literally, it's as tall as the beginning of my butt. That's how tall it is, which means they've been harvesting for a long time. Like I said earlier, these have market. When it comes to vegetables, you can never go wrong, and that I promise you. You can never go wrong. So the only time you can stop harvesting things like this is once they flower, because then after that you cannot continue harvesting from them. Man, the DOREEN'S African experience this entire week is vegetable week. Let me show you different Sukuma Wiki farms, so you can have a nice look for yourself. I tell you, today I've been working really hard, really hard. And by the way, don't be misguided. When you go to farm, you have to understand things to consider before starting to farm some things. You have to consider how much time do you have. Do you have the time to consistently go to the garden? If you don't, then you have to choose something that's favorable within your time. Because time is everything when it comes to farming. It's either you're willing to give the time, or you don't have the time at all. So when you are going to farm, please take note, consider time, gestation period of something, how soon do you want the money, stuff like that, and then depend or based on that to actually farm something. So this is Sukuma Wiki, how to grow it. You make a nursery bed for a month. After making the nursery bed for a month, transplant, make columns, grow these things in columns, and please space them out as much as you can, because when you space them out, you give them room to expand. Remember, the bigger the leaf, the more money you're going to get out of it. So yeah, that was me. That's the DOREEN'S African experiences. Subscribe, like, and share. Eat a vegetable today, improve your health, and for those that's growing these things, try to keep them as natural as possible, because some of them really consume a lot of chemicals and they make it impossible to keep you as healthy as you would have wanted. Okay? And on nursery bed here, Sukuma Wiki. This is how a nursery bed of Sukuma Wiki looks like. It grows, it takes it about a week and a half to 2 weeks to grow to this size, and then you transplant it. Or you can wait an extra week or you can transplant in a month, but minimum 2.5 weeks. Dang. Bikusa. Oliako katono n'ogumira. Kale ate nga birimu ekiriisa ky'amaanyi.
Kyogade obadde tonnamanya.
Ka nze tubawe nakidde kyali sikubida ndi.
Kawesa yangambye kumanya.
Ani?
Kawesa. Ati ngenze nagamba nga kituufu.
Nze gwenze nakidde kumacha kuvaayo eka. Safuddeyo gamba ate binkwata. Nzija buzeera njagala mmalira na kuddayo eka.
Emmoroka yagenze.